I cannot recommend at least one more movie. Guys, watch Lethal Weapon 2. I'm telling you, you'll be hooked after that.
I'll make a deal with you, Tim. I will do that if you watch The Nice Guys, because you are going to love it.
Deal. I'm there.
And to all you nerdy for 30 heads, we will be back to discuss those two movies in a super mega episode.
I will totally. Can we do a Lethal Weapon 2 / Nice Guys podcast? Let's do it where we compare our findings. I think that's beautiful and a great idea.
Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to Nerdy for 30, the podcast where we talk about nerdy-ish things for 30-ish minutes. Today, we are talking about The Nice Guys. This is the first part of our two-part expose on The Nice Guys and Lethal Weapon 2 conspiracy. Michael B. Breen dropping a bombshell last year saying that Shane Black keeps recycling the same movie over and over and selling it to Hollywood. Look, it's explosive, and we're going to cover it here today. My name is Kevin Bauer. With me, as always, is my faithful co-host, Tim Keck.
Yeah. I'm here.
Coming in strong.
I'll tell you what, you never normally let me say anything here. You normally just go right to the guests, so I was caught off guard.
Let you say anything.
I just like it when you do it. I just like when you're in control. I respond to that.
I have to go. I can't be here for this.
Oh my God. No, Breen, you know what? This is your problem now. With us is the person that started this whole thing. He's back. It's Michael B. Breen. Mike, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I want to say I have almost no memory of saying that last year.
It's all I've thought about for a year.
You're doing both of these, but I was like, sure. And it's not because I'm too busy. I just have a terrible memory. I remember us discussing The Nice Guys because Tim had refused to watch it for years out of, I think, spite. I don't want to talk for you, but I think that was a big part of it. You didn't want me to have the satisfaction.
Yeah, I've thought about this a lot since you did it. It's meant the world to me. I almost watched Nice Guys like right away, but I was like, no, I'm going to wait a full year to watch this movie. So it is fresh and ripe right before we do the pod, right before we record. I'm so excited. We made this deal, this agreement. You get to watch Lethal Weapon 2, which is amazing and wonderful. And I was burdened with the fucking shitty responsibility of watching the fuckfest pile of crap that is The Nice Guys. This movie fucking sucked. It blows. Oh, no. I hated it. I did not enjoy a single second of it. I don't know what was going on. It has nothing to do with Lethal Weapon. I get that there are like tangential story pieces. These characters are bad. Ryan Gosling is unwatchable. The plot makes no sense. It is just gibberish. They're just constantly saying gibberish. It is nonsense. I did not like this movie at all. And maybe it's because I came in with Lethal Weapon high expectations and had to settle for fucking old man Russell Crowe and Ryan fucking Gosling just meandering around a city and letting things happen to them. It was, I didn't love it. This wasn't great, but I'm glad we're talking about it. I'm excited to talk about it and explain to you how bad this movie is.
I think it is one of the most complicated plots ever in a movie. I'll agree with you on that one. Like, even having to repeat it would be very difficult for me. And I've seen the movie at least 5 times.
I had no idea what was happening during the movie. It was so complicated. I was watching with my roommate, Pat, and we were like stopping it to be like, okay, wait. So like, what is happening right now? Okay, so who are these people to each other? Maybe I'll enjoy this better on the rewatch when I know that none of that really matters. But as someone who like expected the movie to have weight and stakes and like characters that were important, I went in expecting some sort of a story that I could follow, and I did not get it.
Nah,
I
dude.
think that's kind of, sorry, Kevin, go.
I was going to say, this is borderline a Linklater movie. Like, this movie is about these two guys hanging out, going around 70s LA. And just it's a vibe movie. This is not like.
I totally agree. And I think like that one of the things that March, who's Ryan Gosling's character, says early on is like, none of it matters. The only thing that changes is the sun goes up and goes down in between the cases. And I mean, it's tough to make a movie where that's the point you're trying to make. And it ends where they don't do anything. They never accomplish their goal. Everybody gets away with what they did. And I think it's like really hard to feel good about a movie like this by the end of it. But I think every scene is so enjoyable, despite a very complicated plot. I think every moment is so funny. Like, I love that scene when everybody's laying out, pretending to be dead because of the birds and they're looking for the body. Like, that's just fun.
Yeah, it's just fun moments.
It's kind of fun.
Really, I love hearing that you acknowledge how complicated this plot is too, Breen, because in that pod from last year, you list this as one of your top 3 movies all time. Do you agree with that? Was that just hyperbole?
You were trolling for sure. There's no way.
I don't think I was trolling. I think I was passionate in the moment, and I was trying to make a sale to Tim. I was trying to get this car off the lot, and he was like, I'll drive it in a year. He came back and he gave it a test drive and he wants his money back. It didn't work out. But I do really like this movie. I think it's very funny. You don't think it's funny, Tim?
That was the funniest scene where they're lying down. I don't like, who's supposed to be funny in this? It's not Ryan Gosling. Ryan Gosling is charmless. He has no redeeming qualities. He's unlikable. He's not a good guy. He's a piece of shit dad. He loves his daughter. His daughter loves him. That's misplaced love. He is not responsible. He can't take care of her, really. She is solving cases. She's at like parties she shouldn't be at, surrounded by drugs. She's getting like shot at and kidnapped. He sucks. He just says nonsense. You know what I thought about this? And I want to be politically correct, but his performance reminds me of the scene from Tropic Thunder where Robert Downey Jr. explains to oh my God, I'm blanking. Why do I not remember it? Ben Stiller about why his character Simple Jack won't be nominated won't win an Academy Award. And he says the line, "You can't go full retard." And I was watching this like, this is what Ryan Gosling did. He's just stupid. He's just dumb. He has he doesn't know anything. He can't put simple things together. He has no awareness. He's just stupid. And there's nothing that backs it up. The only thing he does is he finds the projector. Everything else, he's a waste of space. He is an accident. He's useless. He is not a damn thing is what Ryan Gosling is good for in this movie. He does nothing. His daughter is great. I love her. I enjoyed all the scenes she was in. She was great. She is a star. Betty Brand from Spider-Man. She's got a long future ahead of her. Ryan Gosling sucks. He's just not good. I don't like Ryan Gosling.
In general,
I don't. I think one of the arguments was you're like, you got to see The Nice Guys. I haven't seen Love Actually or whatever. What's the one that he's in with like Emma Stone?
Oh, Crazy Stupid Love.
Yeah, I haven't seen Crazy Stupid Love. So maybe we'll do that next year. Lethal Weapon 3 and Crazy Stupid Love. So I can keep trying to like Ryan Gosling. God. But I don't.
Folks, December 7th, 2023, doing Crazy Stupid Love and Lethal Weapon 3. We're going to get Tim on this.
I don't like him. I don't like this character. This character is stupid. He is just stupid. There is nothing good about him.
His wife died, and he's got this pain in the ass.
Probably
daughter.
To get away from him. This guy sucks.
I think that daughter's a huge pain in the ass. She's a thorn in his side. I think she slows him down every step of the way. Always sticking her nose into his business. I get it. He's emasculated. He can't do anything. He's a tragic figure. But seriously, you don't like the clowning aspect. There's so much physical comedy in this, and you're like, that's not for me.
No, I just wish it had. Let's compare and contrast with Lethal Weapon, right? I feel like Martin Riggs in that is like comical. He is goofy, but then there are moments where he is grounded and he is ultimately good at his job and he has things he cares about that like make him a real human being. Ryan Gosling, this is not a real person. He is just an idiot. He's just an idiot. He's a dummy. He doesn't. The only way he gets anything done at all in life is because his daughter is smarter than him, which is a trope that I love, but it is overplayed. It's in everything, right? Well, didn't we just talk about a movie with this, Kevin? What was well, whatever. But yeah, it just I don't know.
I don't think it's
I don't like it
either. I think it's Russell Crowe's, and he kind of serves as the comedic relief idiot sidekick character. I don't think it's his story, and I think that's why he can kind of get away with just being comedic relief.
Sure, but then if you look at Lethal Weapon as the story of Martin Riggs, right, and then Roger Murtaugh and his family are there to support him. Roger's fun. I mean, he's funny, but he plays a different role in that, right? Like, he's a real person. Martin Riggs is a real person. These are real human beings who are having a real connection, like actually bonding about stuff. I don't know why these guys are friends. At the end of the movie, they're like opening a business together. And it's like, you guys didn't do anything. Everyone you tried to protect died. You're bad at your jobs. You're not nice to anybody. So why are you opening a business together called The Nice Guy? It doesn't even seem like you guys are friends. Like, what have you bonded over? Just you both suck at this? There's nothing there. I mean, Russell Crowe is the protagonist, I think. But honestly, the daughter's probably the protagonist. I mean, she's the only one who gives a shit about anything in this movie. Nobody else seems to care. I mean, Russell Crowe at least has morals, and Russell Crowe is a character, and Ryan Gosling is a waste of space.
I cannot believe how much you hate Ryan Gosling.
Yeah, this
is
is
fascinating to me.
This is only added fuel to the fire. There's nothing. It's just real dislike. I'm sure he could be an okay person. He's probably a giant piece of shit in real life. I don't know. Fuck him. I don't want to see him in anything ever again.
I think, okay, so there's two things I want to do here. First off is I want to defend the character of March, but also I want to dive in a little bit to this hatred of Ryan Gosling, because I feel like you're coming at him. I'm going to do that first. I feel like you're coming at Ryan Gosling wrong. Tim, I think you think Ryan Gosling is like a cool guy that's being sold to you as a cool guy and is supposed to be a through and through cool guy. Ryan Gosling is a fucking dork who a couple years ago started getting put in cool guy roles. Like, I think pretty much from Drive Forward, people were like, oh, Ryan Gosling's ripped now. He's got to do like action guy roles, which is why he works really well for me in this. Because I feel like this is the closest chance that he's had to be in one of those roles that's stereotypically a cool guy, but show that that is not who he is as a person. Who Ryan Gosling is as a person is like Lars and the Real Girl. He's kind of similar to Henry Cavill, where it's like, this is a guy who happens to be really handsome. Like Ryan Gosling was on the Mickey Mouse Club. Like Ryan Gosling is like a song and dance man. He is, oh God, what was the other one? I mean, La La Land is probably like really close to like a quintessential Ryan Gosling role at this point, like his role in that. But I feel like for some reason you're coming at him as though, because of things like The Gray Man, you're coming at Ryan Gosling thinking like he's being told to you as an action star. He is an action star.
Listen, he doesn't. We've talked about my quadrants before when it comes to male actors, right? I've got three quadrants, right? They're a good actor. He is not. They are a badass kick butt action hero. He is not. They are funny. He is not. He doesn't do a damn thing for me. I'm sorry. He doesn't do anything. I've never watched anything and been like, wow, he's such a good actor. Wow, he's blowing me off the screen. He's not funny. And he's not, I don't buy him as a badass at all. I don't know what he is. And I don't know why he keeps being fed to me. It's disgusting.
Can I go through some scenes and you tell me that you don't like them? Because I feel like you're forgetting.
Sure. Okay. Tell me.
When Healy goes into the bathroom and marches on the toilet.
Yeah.
You don't like that scene.
I was like, this could be funny if someone competent was doing it. Like he's opening the door, but he can't open a door, but he also can't do any. I mean, I've also seen him not do anything the whole movie. It's not like this is his life. Everything he does is him trying to get out of that bathroom stall because he's a joke. He's like a character from Dumb and Dumber. He's like, this is what he does. Everything his character does is a series of him trying to get out of the bathroom. And I sat there and I was like, I should be laughing. This is a funny bit. And I did not enjoy it at all. It wasn't good. It was bad. It felt fake. It felt forced. There wasn't anything charming about it. Like Jake Johnson could have like destroyed that. And instead Ryan Gosling's doing it.
So your big problem with the movie is Ryan Gosling comedically does not do it for you.
He doesn't do anything for me. I mean, I also think I have other problems with the movie. The dialogue is just crazy. There's no stakes. I mean, there was no tension. These aren't real people. He is just a buffoon floating around. He just really doesn't have anything. He has nothing. He has nothing he cares about. It's just all. There's nothing to hold on to in this. I guess I think I also went in with like, you compared this to Lethal Weapon, and I was like, Lethal Weapon at the end of the day, it is funny, but then it walks the line, I think, really well. And I'm biased because this is just my favorite movie I've seen a million times growing up, but it walks the line of like serious and comedy, I think, really well, like ideally for like an action comedy. And this didn't. It didn't walk. It just kind of ran back and forth wherever it wanted. There was nothing. Ryan Gosling is not funny. He can't deliver any of this stuff. And the writing isn't doing him any favors. The character isn't. It's crazy.
I disagree, but I'm not going to convince you. So I'm going to just kind of. But there's other things to talk about. Like, I think Shane Black like plays with the form really well sometimes. Like the gun in the ankle bit. Ryan Gosling thinks there's a gun in Russell Crowe's ankle because he dreamt it and forgot it was a dream, I think is so funny.
Oh, I didn't even realize that was part of it. I thought I was like, oh, Russell Crowe is like, why are you betraying us right now? Like, I'm going to go for my gun. And he's just like ratting him out. But yeah, that was just a dream because there's a random dream sequence in it. I mean, that's cool. It's cool that Shane Black does this stuff. It's cool that like they do that thing. But I was just tired watching Ryan Gosling do this. I don't know.
What about the Nixon scene where Healy is telling March about the guy who flips his car and is dying, and Richard Nixon comes up to save him, and he's like, and the guy's thinking, does everybody see Nixon when they die? And they have that conversation, and March undercuts it by saying, why are you saying this? And he says, there's two sides to every story. And March says, then just say that. I think it's really funny.
It's funny writing. Yeah.
The structure of a joke. Yeah. I think it's really good.
Yeah. The structure is good. Like the script, that writing is good. Yeah. That's good. It's a good thing.
I think it's aimless. I think Shane Black didn't care. I think he thought, I'm serious. And he flat out says nothing matters. Or nothing changes. But I think like it's very funny. But if you don't like Ryan Gosling, you're fucked.
Do you think do you guys think the dialogue is like choppy? Because it felt like things were just being said that were like supposed to be jokes, but they're just like delivered like every other piece. It felt so abrupt to me. That they like it was the dialogue was like impossible to follow, I thought. And it was just random. It felt like they were just in a room and they're just saying random sentences, maybe talking to each other, maybe not. I don't know. That's what the vibe I got for most of the movie.
I think the story is so complicated. And there's something there at the beginning that's so funny where there's two PIs. And one is following a girl and the other is hired to get him to stop following a girl. That could almost be a movie. And I think maybe you start writing something like that and then it just went crazy. And that's fine. He can do that. But I thought there was something really strong at the beginning. But then it gets so complicated to where the story is about how a girl is missing because she made a porno revealing what's going on with the collusion happening inside these Detroit, I can't even get through it, auto companies. And she's killed for it by her mother, who's also in on the scheme, but doesn't live in Detroit, doesn't work for the auto companies. Mm-hmm. It's very complicated.
Does live in LA, but is actively trying to get pornos to stop being made. It's almost, the plot of this movie is almost a meta joke about plots in action movies. And I mean, it's far enough there that I feel like if you're Shane Black and you've written so many of these, it's got to be on purpose. Like this has to be unbelievably complicated on purpose. There's also like, it's so complicated that I missed until this watching. I've also probably seen this movie 5 or 6 times. I missed until this watching of it. Oh, I love this movie too. I love this movie. You know what also locked it in was when we got the COVID vaccine. It was the thing where, like, you get your first COVID vaccine. It was 2021, and everybody had said the thing where it's like you're gonna feel like shit for like 6 hours the next day. We prepped for it, so we went out and got like these big ass iced coffees, and then the next morning I had a big ass iced coffee, and I felt like absolute trash. And we put on the Nice Guys, and it was like the perfect thing to just ride out that. Oh, you monster. But that's a sidetrack. What I wanted to say is that even seeing this movie a few times, the story is so complicated that I missed what I feel like is a basic part of the plot until this viewing, which is that at the beginning of the movie, Healy is not a private investigator. Russell Crowe is an enforcer who wants to be a private investigator. He's interested in changing jobs to become a PI. So there's like lines like, I bet PIs don't have to put up with this kind of stuff. And then like when he's shaking down Marsh, he's like, you can afford to live here on a PI salary? Like he's investigating the career change.
Yeah, that is very funny.
Oh, it's so in depth.
See, I thought that meant that Ryan Gosling's character was like stealing or something. Like this wasn't his hat. Like, did they break into that house? Were they just like, what do they call it? Where you're just like staying in somebody's house, just like an abandoned house. Like he doesn't own that house, right?
No. They're renting it. Their house is being like indefinitely built.
How can he even afford the rent in that house? Like he shouldn't be able to afford the rent. It is crazy that he can afford that. This is another take I had, which is I was going in thinking this was going to be Lethal Weapon. Tonally, this felt more like The Other Guys to me. Have you guys seen that movie? With like Will Ferrell, Mark Wahlberg. This is The Other Guys. And I think The Other Guys does it better. But let me throw this scenario out at you. I tried to make this a category a long time ago. Better or worse? Is The Nice Guys a better movie if it's Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg in it?
It's worse. It's way worse.
Do you think it's worse?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Strong disagree.
You like Mark Wahlberg's comedic performances.
Oh, he's way funnier than either of these guys, for sure.
Oh,
you seen like Ted? He's good. He does the same thing. He could sell a bunch of stuff, but also you make Ryan Gosling's character Will Ferrell, and then he just replaces Russell Crowe. He could do what Russell Crowe does in this movie. He doesn't even have to get fat. He can just be like a jacked guy who's just like beats people up. That's well within his range.
I think they're perfectly cast, and I think they do a great job. I mean, at the end, Russell Crowe's delivery when he's drinking again, one of the funniest things I've ever seen. I don't know if you caught him, but he's sober throughout the movie. And then Marge says, hey, he's drinking again. Russell Crowe goes, yeah. He's like happy about it. He feels great.
Why is he drinking again?
Because nothing matters.
Okay, maybe that's the point of this movie, is that nothing matters and you just put it on in the background and you just, I don't know. I don't understand what you guys like about this movie. So maybe I just came in with maybe my expectations were too high. Maybe that's what it was. I had no idea what tonally this movie was. Is it a comedy? Is it like an action movie? It just seems like kind of like it's like a comedy, but it's not a comedy. It's very weird to me. Like, I don't know how to describe this movie to somebody.
It's tough. And if you're trying to describe the plot, good luck to anybody on this earth.
But even the tone, how would you describe the tone of this movie?
It's a comedy. It's a buddy comedy.
It's a comedy.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, like a hangout comedy.
Like Friends or something, where like you don't really laugh, but there's like a laugh track.
Not like Friends. It's like if the shit didn't go down in Pineapple Express. It's like if we stayed in the first act of Pineapple Express.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm with you on there being basically no stakes for them, except they're putting their lives on the line every time they enter a situation.
Yeah.
Oh my God, right there. Hold on. I want to press him on that. Picking out specific scenes. Breen, you said putting your life on the line. The elevator scene with the people falling out the window, that did nothing for you?
It's a funny it's like a funny writing. I understand how technically it should be funny. Yes.
And Gosling,
that's great. And then they just go back down.
I thought his like clowning ability was strong. And I don't know if
Wow.
that says something about Ryan Gosling or how easy clowning is, but I thought it was good.
I'm like kind of genuinely stunned that you got. I don't understand. I feel like I'm lost. Like I just am not on the same page. I don't think either of these guys is funny at all. They are not funny in any way. The girl's funny. Maybe some of the other side characters are funny. And I get that the script mathematically should be funny. And I think someone could deliver the script in a funny way. But I didn't laugh at all watching this. I didn't think any of it was funny. I just went, oh, I should be laughing at that. That was me watching that movie. So well, I don't know.
What kind of state were you in? Let's talk about that. Tell me about
yeah, how's your week been?
I was a little high.
Yeah, this is that's a thing. That you're not going to follow this movie high.
But I was like excited to see something. I wanted this to be good. I really wanted to like this. And I just had no idea. I mean, I'll have to rewatch it because you guys are so insistent on it. Like I'll have to rewatch it and just like see if I can figure this out. But it's like a weird puzzle. On
2023, December 7th, we're talking about Crazy Stupid Love, Lethal Weapon 3, and The Nice Guys again.
We'll do a Nice Guys / Love is Blind or whatever that show's called, and we'll combine that. We'll just do a Ryan Gosling episode. I'll watch whatever you guys want in preparation of it, and then we'll hash it out.
Dude, please.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Wait, does anybody have any other takeaways from this movie other than that I hate Ryan Gosling?
No, I think it's
man.
I don't think it's greater than the sum of its parts, but I think every individual moment is very funny. And I really like how he lays out scenes and what happens inside of them. I think they're funny.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with Breen. I think every individual piece of this kind of like it may succeed or fail, but overall, as a whole, I love it so much. I recognize that there are things that could be tightened maybe, but I think that tightening would come at the expense of what they ended up finding with this. And I think it's really unique for what it is. And I'm going to keep watching it. I bought it on Apple. I have this thing. Like, I'm going to keep watching this thing because I love Ryan Gosling that much.
It's on Netflix. They're just giving this thing away. They're just like hoping somebody watches this movie. They would love for somebody. You don't have to pay. You shouldn't pay for this movie. I wouldn't encourage anyone to.
They're just trying to educate the masses. They need more people to see it.
I have a question, Tim. Have you ever gone this hard on a movie in the podcast before?
I must have, right? We've also watched other Ryan Gosling movies. So yeah, I definitely have.
The hardest I think you've ever gone, Tim, was in her Obi-Wan Kenobi episode. Tim went, we had Spencer as a guest. Tim went for probably 20 minutes of the half hour, uninterrupted rant about how terrible Kenobi was. And Spencer looked like someone pissed in his ice cream.
I guess I love Spencer to death, but it's indefensible. Obi-Wan Kenobi is such shit. And I don't know. It is, I guess, was kind of like that, where I'm like, I wish there was something to enjoy about this, like these characters. I don't think I enjoyed watching either of the guys at all. I was kind of debating if is Russell Crowe, how good is Russell Crowe? Is he crushing it in this? I can't tell. He's like the only real character in this, right? So what do you think of Russell Crowe in this movie?
I think he's awesome. I think he's so good. I think he's like this really sad, tragic guy who's incredibly competent, which is like my favorite combo.
Yeah. I didn't get that, but I love that combo. You're describing a character I would love to watch.
It's a David Harbour character. I feel like if you're going to do any kind of a recasting, that I don't think he would necessarily do better than Crowe, because I loved Crowe in it, but like it's a role that David Harbour would typically play.
I wanted it to, it reminded me, and I think tonally I was just looking for a different thing. Like in Gerard Butler in like Den of Thieves, when he's like kind of like a dirty like cop, and he's just like comes up and he's just like throwing trash everywhere and he like doesn't play by the rules and he's just like kind of out of shape, but like clearly like a big guy. Like that's kind of what I was like, oh, this could be cool. This guy's like a badass. And then it's like they didn't really do anything badass. Okay, here's like a specific critique I had that I was thinking about. The end of the movie to me doesn't make a ton of sense. Somehow everyone they try to protect dies. The girl in this is like smart, right? Like this is the bit, is that she's smart. At the end of the movie, she is cornered by a woman in the projection room and she throws a projection, like a reel of film, out the window. And I was like, oh, there's no way that's the real film. Right? Because this girl's smarter than everybody. She outsmarted another adult. She threw a fake one. She knows what's at stake. She wouldn't just throw something into a fire like that. And then it turns out, no, that's actually the film that it was. And I was like, I was just baffled by that for whatever reason. I was like, this is you broke the game. So what? Ryan Gosling could roll around on the ground with this film. It's the real film. I was like stunned it was the real film. I was like, where's the other thing?
That kind of supports my point of view, which is she's a menace. She's useless. She thinks she's helping. She never actually is. She's pointing out obvious shit. She's running around and she's critiquing people, but she has no influence.
She's the only one investigating. She's like asking people like about this girl. She's like finding things out. She finds the missing girl, and if the guys had kept her safe, she wouldn't have died. But also that she just dies at the end of the movie. Not even at the end. They're just like third act. They're just like, OK, well, she's also going to die now. They just the car just drives up to her when she walks out and they just kill her. I was like, OK, what is so it's over. There's nothing else to do here.
But I think you have to because of the true story aspect of it.
It's a real story.
No.
This is a real story.
But that's the thing, Tim. You believed it because this is a realistic take on all this stuff.
I was shocked.
We were talking about in Lethal Weapon. In Lethal Weapon last year, the pod that started all this, you were talking about how Martin Riggs is like, you even brought it up at the beginning of this. You said he's like an anime protagonist where he's like a goofball, but then when shit hits the fan, he shows that he has the power to protect everyone.
Right.
That's not how real people are. If Mark's just a fuck up, he's going to be a fuck up the whole time.
Yeah.
That's what I love about him.
That's
why, dude, Ryan Gosling in this movie is, in my opinion, the perfect template for a live action Hawkeye in the Avengers, where it's like, this is exactly what this guy should be doing.
No way.
Yeah.
Hawkeye's good at his job.
Same thing with, I guess that would be kind of more, I guess, in the line of what you're talking about. But still, in terms of being the fuck up, I feel like Ryan Gosling seriously could play the hell out of that. But with Healy too, it's like, yeah, he's this bruiser. But in real life, people don't necessarily get a chance to like take out 6 guys on their own. Like it's not realistic. And that's one of the ways this movie does play more real.
Yeah, I do think it is pretty grounded in that way.
Yeah, I think when I think of like playing dumb, I think about like Parks and Rec a lot and like, Chris Pratt's character on there. And I know we've talked about this like improv and stuff too, where it's like, I don't think a funny bit is like this character is dumb. It's funny if they're wrong, right? Or they're misinterpreting something, but like they need to be good at something else. And I think Ryan Gosling or his character. I mean, this part isn't even a critique of Ryan Gosling. This is just like the character is like nothing redeemable. There's no moment when he's good at his job. There's like the projector, which is like one thing maybe, and nothing else shows he's good at his job. Nothing else shows that he can read, nothing else shows that he is like graduated high school. Nothing else shows that he's been out of his house and interacted with other human beings. There was a point when I realized, he's like drunk the whole time. And I'm like, okay, so there's going to be some moment of like clarity for him. And there isn't. He's just drunk the whole time. And I guess maybe that's part of it. Maybe that's the justification, is that you're just like, you write it off. This guy's a drunk the whole time. But I don't know. You'd still expect some moment when like the drunk puts down the bottle and just like caps 3 guys in the head and is like crushes it. Like you'd want a moment when it's like, fuck yeah. And I didn't get that from anybody. And that's what I want out of these movies. That's what I want out of a dumb character. I want one moment. I want one moment when Michael Scott closes a deal. You know, I want one scene when like all the people go out and are great at sales. I want people to be good at their jobs, or at least competent. They need to be good at anything. And I didn't feel like they were at all.
Maybe that's the thing, though, is that Ryan Gosling's less dumb and he's more just unlucky. So like when he's shaving his beard with the electric razor in his car in the beginning, he's just a subversion of like PI tropes, right? Like he's never allowed to be smooth. He's never allowed to be suave. He tries to be, and it fails because it's real. Like,
yeah,
he's not a cool guy.
Okay, we're going to talk Lethal Weapon 2 after this. Is there anything that we want to get out on the Nice Guys pod? You know, comparing the two movies, comparing Lethal Weapon. You guys have now seen 1 and 2. Is there any real crossover between these movies? Is there anything that like, I don't know. What comparisons can we actually make? Did you guys have any takeaways where you're just like, oh, okay, this is Shane Black doing this thing? Are these connected at all?
I think like in his writing, it's always guy down on his luck. Wife is usually dead. And there's always some, I think what I like about this more than Lethal Weapon 2 is that like we kind of see the pieces fall into place as it goes on, where like we're still guessing by the end of the movie. But with Lethal Weapon 2, they're like, here are the bad guys. Here's what they're doing. We're going at them straight away, whole time. No twist here. We're gonna hang on their house, and they're basically gonna say they hate each other, and then we're just gonna play it out. So I think there's like something to be said for like the mystery and things slowly unraveling instead of just being told this is what this is going to be.
Yeah,
for
and
sure.
I think Shane Black grew in that way with this movie, but came up short in other areas. For you, Tim.
For me personally, I'll text him. We go way back. I've been a fan forever. Kevin, what do you think? Are these guys similar at all?
No, but the biggest similarity I caught is that Shane Black movies all have topless woman that also dies.
Yes,
it's a lot of dead topless women.
That's a staple for sure.
Topless women, and then also a dying topless woman, and then Lethal Weapon 2, topless woman that then dies. It's a big intersection.
Okay, I've got a great Shane Black story. That's a teaser. I'm telling it on the next pod.
Ooh, I love it.
I can't wait. Let's just get into Lethal Weapon 2. Let's wrap this up and get into the good stuff. In my opinion,
I'm playing the music.
We'll see what people say.
Ladies and gentlemen, when we are just started, we're going to be back here next Thursday talking about Lethal Weapon 2, maybe making a couple more comparisons to the Nice Guys. We'll see if Tim can think about it anymore. Thank you so much for listening. Breen, thank you so much for being here. Till next week, stay nerdy, everybody.
Stay
Bye.
Nerdy. Thanks, Mike.
Also, Tim, on the note of us being opposite on Nice Guys and you going hard on Obi-Wan, I feel like another thing that exemplifies that is this is an Obi-Wan action figure from the show.
I have never seen that outfit before in my life. Did he wear that at any point during the show?
You didn't fucking watch it.
I did watch it. When was he dressed like that?
That was like for a while he was like, it's his most handsome outfit. He looks so handsome.
Why did you get that? Did somebody give it to you?
He looks so handsome.
You bought it because he's hot?
Oh my God, he's the hottest.
Jeez. Whatever.